What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Celtics Talk podcast. It is a special edition today because we've got the schedule. It is out. It's hot off the presses. This is our life for the next 8 months. Drew, Carter, Brian Scalabrine with you. I'm doing my Forsberg impression because this is his show, but he's on location somewhere on the beach. Scal, it's been a minute. How was your summer?
Good, but
that's the way. I actually don't care how your summer was. Let's get right into this beautiful schedule we have, starting with the Sixers. Opening night.
Yeah, interesting not being on the main where we're raising a banner or we're going to a place that raised a banner. Does seem interesting. We're not playing on official opening night, but we get opening night, which is great. Sixers don't know what to think about their front court, which is Paul George and Embiid, but really love their backcourt. When you think about Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and their new up-and-coming high flyer, VJ Edgecombe. So I think the Sixers are going to be a fun watch, but not necessarily really excited about the potential of them being a championship team.
No, well, the last time you want to play them is at the beginning of the season. You'd rather get them toward the end because who knows what's going to happen from the beginning of the season toward the spring. But obviously the question with them is, what's Joel Embiid going to look like? That's what the question always is. No Olympics this summer, so maybe he's more ready to go for this season. Maybe he's healthier, but it's such a question mark. I almost feel like they're not even worth discussing as a contender.
No, I don't think so either, but I do think their backcourt is young and dynamic. And, Tyrese Maxey has grown into a pretty good player, and they have some young guys. So I know last year, Bontemps is like the best big three in the NBA is Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid.
It took 2 minutes to get in that shot at Bontemps.
Yeah, but I mean, he knows he was wrong. But guys get older, guys are slower, the league is faster. So I am excited. To me, I think those guards are going to be must-see TV. I think VJ Edgecombe is a serious high flyer and could be really fun to watch.
Yeah, he is an exciting player, and you can see him on NBC Sports Boston. It is a little weird, like you said, to not have the opener be like opening night of the NBA season. It's also weird not to be playing on Christmas for the first time in 10 years for the Celtics. But, flip side of that is, we get to watch a game with you on NBC Sports Boston, so that'll be fun. And then a couple days later, it's another Eastern Conference rival. It's a team that bounced the Celtics from the playoffs last year. It's a team with a new coach, Mike Brown. The New York Knicks, I mean, that's a team I feel like you have high expectations for, at least in the regular season, right?
I mean, I'm not really high on them. I'm not as high as everybody else is. I think I think they got really lucky that we blew 2 20-point leads last year. I think Jaylen Brunson's incredible, but remember, any big game last year they lost. So I'm not looking at this team thinking, oh man, this team is a shoo-in. I think there are better teams. It depends on what happens with Atlanta. It depends on what happens with Cleveland. I think there are better teams than the Knicks, but give them credit. They did well. They got to the conference finals. But, the fact that they fired Thibodeau after all that, it's just a weird dynamic over there. So I know they'll be good. I think there'll be some type of drama with New York.
There always is, right? I mean, they were allergic to success when they fired Tibbs. It's the best season they've had in 2.5 decades. They shocked everybody by beating the Celtics, and they decided that wasn't good enough. I mean, I wonder what that's going to look like. Like, with what you know about Mike Brown and obviously your relationship with Tibbs, is Mike Brown going to go easier on the players? Are they going to be happier? Is it going to be everyone's playing a little bit more and everything's good now?
Yeah, I don't know. I know Mike Brown's a good coach, though. I know that he'll be prepared. I know he kept some of the staff over. I think those things are important. But it's just when something like that happens, and you think, all right, everyone's saying we need a coach to take us to the next level. Like Thibodeau took you to the next level.
Yeah.
And usually guys like Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns, they'll play better their second year under Tibbs. Because just look at OG Anunoby, Brunson, Julius Randle. A lot of guys improve going into their second year, so I'm not sure they'll have the same improvement.
That game's going to have a lot of juice. That's the first Friday of the season at MSG. Real quick, I mean, you're a player, so tell me if this is legit. Are the Celtics going to come out extra hungry for that game because the Knicks bounced them last year?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about when your team bounces you, you feel that they become your rival the following year. And I also think everyone's parading the Knicks around as conference, the conference finals or finals favorites, but the Celtics don't look at themselves as that. They look at themselves as the best team in the Eastern Conference. So I think that they're going to be on a mission, and that's why I'm really excited about watching this team. We've had teams before. We've had teams where guys got hurt, Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward. We've had teams that overachieved, and there is no LeBron James in the Eastern Conference. So I'm excited about this team overachieving, and those marquee matchups where people think that those teams are ahead of them, those are the ones you're going to want to watch.
Yeah, that's a new role for the Celtics. We haven't seen them in that underdog spot in a while. And I'm with you, and we talked a bit about this all last season. The Celtics, at least at the start of the year, were better when they were missing guys.
No question.
And when people were counting them out, and guys like Pritchard especially and Cornette off the bench got a chance to really, step into a bigger role. I think we're going to see Pritchard have an even bigger role than he had last season. And with all the guys the Celtics lost, other guys will have a chance to play a bigger role.
I like the additions. To me, I look at team building, right? And so I'm like, oh, wow, this guy would really fit in well with this group, right? So those things are the things that you have to kind of pay attention to. And I think Brad really did a good job of giving Joe like multifaceted players, guys to stretch the floor, guards to play the dunker, shooters, primary ball handlers. So I think the team is better built, better constructed than people think.
I agree with that. Now, mention the guys that the Celtics lost. Of course, we're going to be seeing them over the course of the season. We're going to take this chronologically here. We'll start off January 10th. Spurs against the Celtics. Luke Cornette returns to the Garden. He was one of our favorite players to call his game, seeing how much he improved. Shout out to the Australians. We're still giving them love, even though Cornette is now in San Antonio. And then later on in the month, this is kind of interesting how it shakes out. Back-to-back games at home against the Blazers and Drew Holiday, and then the Hawks and Kristaps Porzingis. Let's start with the Spurs and Cornette. Obviously, they've got a center who everyone talks about, Victor Wembanyama. I know you don't really call him a center,
no,
right? He's
not
more
really.
Like
a
unicorn, alien.
How about like the disrespect the Celtics get? I think Luke Cornette is one of the best signings in the offseason for all teams to add a guy. Like, he is really good at getting behind the defense, exactly what, in my opinion, like the Spurs need. But everyone calls it the worst signing because Cornette averaged 6 points a game. Are you kidding me?
Who called that the worst signing?
I don't know. Like, people
Name him.
ranking free agents. I think that was the great free agent for what he got. And I was a little bit shocked of why we couldn't keep him at that number. But, it makes it abundantly clear that the Celtics are trying to get below the tax. And I think Cornette's going to be great. But when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs, like, getting a chance, Wembanyama's in my top 7 of guys you just want to watch. Like, he's a good player, obviously, but he's an anomaly. You don't see an alien out there playing basketball, and I love the way when he's on the floor and people are going to the basket, like, they keep him in mind everywhere he's on the floor. I think he has to stay healthy. I got it. But, like, if the Spurs are good, he could be a guy that can win an MVP, at least finish in the top 5 of MVP voting.
You said he's in your top 7?
Of guys I want to watch.
It sounds like you've got a list. Who else is in that top
Jokic
7?
is in there. Yeah. LeBron, because he's 107 years old, like, he's in there. There's certain guys I like to watch play. I'll tell you a guy that you guys aren't going to like me saying this, but it's Jimmy Butler. I like that Jimmy Butler operates in the paint. I like that he operates off 2 feet. Like, there's just certain guys I like to watch play. Not underrated Scal team. That's a different team.
That's different. That's Jakob Poeltl's the captain.
Yeah, where like Stephon Castle and stuff like that. Like, that's a different team. But this is guys who are different than everybody else in the NBA, and I want to watch them play.
Well, the thing with Cornette, too, and I'm with you. I mean, if anyone says that's a bad sign and they just don't know their business. And I still think that's a bargain. What did he get, 4 for 41?
Yeah.
We heard that, and I think this has been reported, he took a pay cut to come back to the Celtics last year. And so I'm happy for Luke getting his payday, but we are going to miss him a lot. And obviously what he provides on the floor, but also what he brings you away from the floor. There's a lot of personality there. He's a super sharp guy. I think his sister told me that if Luke weren't a pro basketball player, he would be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, wow.
And we saw that with the whole, political ad slandering Derek White when Luke was trying to get that Tommy Award.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think I'm going to miss the most. We talk about how, like, we're both higher on this team than the general public is. Like, we like the additions they've made. I'm just wondering, where's that personality going to come from?
I don't know. Like, I'm sure I think guys like Peyton Pritchard will shine a little bit more. I thought, did we see like Derek White kind of broke out of his shell? Like, all these guys will find their own voice. And they'll do it in their own way. I think they're all like, come on, most of these guys have won a championship. And then, now they're really getting an opportunity to shine. And I wonder if, the spotlight's not as bright this year because Tatum is, not going to be starting the season whenever he comes back.
Who's going to give us that timeless press conference quote after the championship like you did in 2008? Who's going to be the one?
Oh, with this group? Garza. There you go.
Luka Garza, your boy. Is he playing in Eurobasket, by the way?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is.
I think so. We'll fact check. If Forsberg were here, he would know that. So speaking of returns to the Garden, later on that month, mentioned you got the back-to-back games, Portland and then Atlanta, Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Who's going to get the longer tribute video, you think, at the Garden?
I mean, Holiday, because he played all the time, probably.
Yeah.
But
Porzingis has some moments, though.
No question. I mean, listen, the nostalgia of these guys winning a championship is awesome. And it's great when you get a chance to watch the tribute videos and then you remember the moments. A lot of times when you're covering a team, it all gets blended together. But Holiday had some big moments, and so did Porzingis, So I'm excited about seeing, those guys back. And, it's just different. When a guy's won a championship and he comes back to the Garden and he gets a tribute video, I think those moments are really going to be special.
I mean, for Holiday, the way he played in the playoffs in 24, there was a point of the NBA Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals where it seemed like he might be MVP of both those series.
Yeah, he was incredible.
He was unreal. He cranked it up. So Holiday had some amazing playoff moments. That's why the Celtics brought him here. And then the other side of the floor, you think about Porzingis. I actually think KP might cry in his when his tribute video happens because that guy, he seems to feel he's got a real flair for just the city of Boston and what people appreciate. And if you think about Game 1 of the Finals against Dallas, that's about as electric of a moment as we had in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean, both those guys. It's really, and I'm going to say this a lot this year. It's just really unfortunate the way that the collective bargaining agreement is. It's just not conducive to have sustaining success. It's just not. And it's amazing that we're able to win a championship. And you're going to start to learn. You'll learn a lot about the other players. I mean, like Pritchard. We'll learn a lot about Jaylen Brown this season. So with guys out, it'll open up storylines. And we don't know how they're going to play, but we're going to be really excited about seeing that. And a guy that I'm really excited about seeing to develop is Keita. What is he going to turn into this year? He's going to get an incredible opportunity. Is he going to keep building up, or because there's no Luke Cornett coming off the bench that are taking his minutes. So these guys are all going to get their chances to play against a Porzingis or a guard coming in and getting a chance to Peyton Pritchard going against Drew Holiday. Doesn't that have a special juice to it?
Definitely.
So those are the things I'm really excited about when it comes to those guys coming back to the building.
Dude, think about Pritchard against Portland. You got the whole hometown thing, Portland, Pacific, Pro-MP against his former teammate Drew Holiday, elite defender. He's going to be cranked up for that game. All those games, by the way, those return games in January, you can watch them on NBC Sports Boston. Before we move on, though, talking about Atlanta, you mentioned the Hawks when we were, discussing the Knicks and contenders in the East. Are you drinking that Kool-Aid?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I know that I like the roster a lot. I think roster construction, I can look at this team and say, yeah, they could be good, but what Trae Young are we going to get? I like the fact that they're not paying him the money right now because I think he'll go out there and earn it. He's that good of an offensive player. I think their team is built with these big wings that can Ricochet, Dyson Daniels, and Jaylen Johnson. Mm-hmm. I think that the team is built a certain way. Porzingis will help. Okongwu will help. So I'm bullish on them, but you still got to go out there and win. You can't just be good on paper. And I think that's what Atlanta has to do moving forward. Are they going to be actually good or just good on paper?
They had an amazing offseason, but it's important not to conflate great moves for the future with them being good right now. Because maybe the best move anyone made was them getting the Pelicans' first-round pick next year, which is an awesome move and good job by them, but it's not going to help them this season.
Sure. I mean,
and they got to go out and do it.
It could help them this season if they want to move on that pick. That's a very coveted asset.
Yeah.
So, and they have space and whatever. There's a lot that can be done. So I'm bullish on Atlanta being a top 4 team, but you still got to go out there and do it.
Top 4 team, huh?
In the East.
Them and Orlando, you think both top 4?
Yeah, I like Cleveland. I like Orlando, Detroit. I like Atlanta. I think Trae Young is a tough cover, man.
So the guys we talked about leaving, there's one absence there. It's not official yet, but it sounds like Al Horford is probably going to end up in Golden State. March 18th is when the Celtics host the Warriors. We've got that game on NBC Sports Boston. Golden State, the whole thing is interesting because, first of all, they're putting together like the 2K12 All-Stars. I mean, this team is old, but still should be pretty good. What do you think the holdup is with Horford signing there?
It's like, I mean, to break it down real quick, it's like you could sign him to a qualifying offer and stay under the tax but can't trade him, or you can give him $20 million, go over the tax, but you can always trade him. So they just got to kind of make those decisions.
What would you do? They don't listen to you because you told them to sign Jakob Poeltl, and they didn't.
Yeah. I think that I would take Kuminga on a 1-year rental and give him a qualifier, and then I can always revisit paying him again. He could decide to leave, but I could pay him at the end of the year, and I'd stay under the tax.
And you want Horford if you're Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, everybody would want it. I think Al's going there because he's looking at it like they're smart. They played the right way, like Steph cutting and Al spacing the floor, knocking down threes like that. Those are going to be big moments for Al, and high basketball IQ. It'll be interesting having him and Draymond play together, but I know how they want to play, and they want a guy like Al Horford.
And there's always a little extra juice when the Warriors come to the Garden after what happened in the finals a couple of years ago. And anytime you get a chance to watch Steph Curry, it's electric. Yeah. So either get to the arena, 2.5 hours early, or better yet, watch it with us here on NBC Sports Boston. But it's time to get to the main event, and that's Maine with an E. Scal's been waiting for it. Let's talk about Cooper Flagg. We've got both the Celtics-Mavericks games on NBC Sports Boston. The big one is March 6th when they are in the house, and it's Cooper Flagg. Half the population of Maine is going to be in the building. By the way, side note on this, March 6th, maybe Kyrie is coming back around then.
Right around there.
So this game just has a massive feel, right?
Yeah. Well, not only that, so to understand the whole situation, right, I think Drew's right. I think as soon as the tickets are available to buy, I think people will buy from Maine will buy this game. It'll sell out. And I have a direct line to the secondary market. Like last year when Luka got traded to the Lakers, that secondary market went crazy, right? I think that this secondary market will end up going crazy. This might be one of those games where people buy because they want to hold on to the ticket because it is Cooper Flagg's debut in Boston. A family that loved the Celtics, a player, his mom, his dad. Cooper Flagg grew up loving the Boston Celtics, so I think it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to do anything for the people of Maine or whatever, but it does feel like you'll feel like the whole state is in the Garden.
You know how sometimes when Luka comes to another building, they'll make it like Slovenia night? That's Maine night.
We should, right?
That's Maine night. That is going to be fun.
But we don't really need that night to build it up. That thing is going to be gone. I think the Laker game will sell out. I think the Dallas Mavericks will sell out. In a second, it will sell out.
Well, how many tickets are you going to request for that game? Maybe 1,000?
Nah, maybe 10.
How many brothers does Cooper have? They're all going to be
my
there.
man Ace, but he might be playing at some place in Maine.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot. And remember, he's also tied in the community because he's connected to New Balance, which is here. So it's good job by Drew in the pun, but it's going to be the main event.
Are you going to get him to play for the Celtics one day? Come on.
I
feel like he's going to.
I don't have as much juice as, I'm not going to get a guy to leave.
Come on, man. You saw him when he was 14.
No, I know. No. What if I would have put him in my basement and Brad would have drafted him this year?
Put him in the basement. No college
Just
for you.
Just lock him up, man.
Sorry. Hey, John. Sorry, man.
Yo,
he's not coming.
Nobody knows, and all of a sudden, who's this Cooper Flagg guy? Come on.
Yeah. Well, hey, Cooper Flagg, the kid is amazing, and we can't wait to have that game again on NBC Sports Boston. So make sure you're tuned in for that or in the house. There's always a lot of juice as well with the Los Angeles Lakers.
No question.
So as we look at the Lakers, we talked a little bit about, LeBron and how he's must-see TV, but if you were a betting man, Scal, right now, is LeBron on the team February 22nd?
Yeah.
There's so much noise.
I know. The noise is about next year.
Yeah.
This year, there's no way he's not on the team. The noise is when LeBron becomes a free agent, would you rather, and Drew loves to play this game, would you rather have the cap space for $30 million in cap space or have a LeBron James back in your team for probably a 1+1, because someone will offer him a 1+1. And would you rather have him at that? So that's what the Lakers got to kind of ask themselves.
Well, I mean, how do you think he's handling not being the main voice in the room now that Luka? It sounds like Luka's got
the off season. Who cares? Like, will he not be the main voice in the room? He's got a big personality.
Yeah,
he still might be, and I think it's a good basketball team, and he fits in with Luka. He's a great cutter. Luka's a great passer.
Well, just picture this: February 22nd. This is a huge day for NBC because the Olympics closing ceremony is that day, and then you go right into Lakers Celtics on NBC Big.
That's in LA.
That is.
What day is that?
Yeah,
February?
that's LA, February 22nd.
Yeah, so it's coming right after All-Star break and all that stuff. Yeah, no, that's going to be it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. I think and what a way to transition, right? You heard the All-Star game is going to have like a European or world influence. So it's not just going to be Americans playing Americans, whatever. It's going to be kind of mixed up. So that'll be fun. The Olympics will be fun. And then this game right here, what a way to kick it off.
And then the Lakers come to Boston December 5th. Always fun, too, to have Marcus Smart back in the building.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a couple years ago when he wasn't playing, they still did the tribute video, and it seemed like he got a little bit emotional. But that's just going to – this just looks wrong, right? I mean – I don't like seeing Marcus in the Lakers gear.
Yeah, I saw Rondo in a Laker gear, and that, so you got to just learn to go with it. I think it's a good spot for him. Think about his role there would be, play defense, knock down shots. I'm sure he respects the heck out of Luka and LeBron. So why not? I mean, I think what better fit? It's better fit than Washington.
Hey man, don't sleep on that big three. In Washington, they've got some guys now. Do you think the Lakers are legit contenders in the West?
I don't know. I'm not sold on DeAndre Ayton, but I can be if he plays well. So I think they're good. I just the Western Conference is really hard. So Oklahoma City's clearly in a class of their own, right? Okay. And then would you say Houston's in that class, or we don't even know yet?
Second tier.
Yeah, and same thing is Denver first tier. By the way, I like Denver a lot this year. I think they're way better than people think.
Yeah, Johnson.
Because I like the guys that they added, and I didn't like the guy that they got rid of. So I'm bullish on Denver. But if Oklahoma City's tier 1B, and then you've got a lot of tier 2s.
Minnesota's
Warriors
up there.
in there. Minnesota could be in tier 2. Everyone thinks that linear line of greatness is just straight. It's not straight. There's goes ups and downs and all that stuff. They were great at the end of the last season, great in the playoffs, but they have faltered. So the Western Conference, super competitive. Really excited about seeing those teams. That's the games that we should be. I hope we have those. The Minnesota. Every time we match up with that team, it's like a dogfight, man. It's unbelievable to watch those guys go at it. So I'm excited about that matchup as well.
Yeah, Minnesota's always fun. Anthony Edwards is about it. They were in Orlando until 5 a.m. one game, and then came to the Garden and almost beat the Celtics a couple years ago, took them to overtime. So the West is loaded, and if the Lakers were in the play-in or out of the playoffs altogether, that'd be a shame. You'd hate to see that. Yeah.
I think they're in that. I just don't know if they're title contender, but a lot of it has to do, man, people are saying Luka lost 31 pounds.
How do you even do that?
That's what I said.
It hasn't been that long.
That's what I said.
Ozempic?
I don't know, man, but I mean, obviously he's working and all that stuff, but you have to ask, I don't know if that's going to be healthy or is he going to be good? I have no idea, but he definitely, the message of Dallas trading him and not paying him that supermax contract because he's getting hurt all the time and overweight, that's a Luka Doncic is a guy on a mission. I can't wait to watch that.
Everyone loses weight when they move to L.A.
Yeah.
Even you could do that, man. A couple of green smoothies, a couple of salads.
Season's around the corner, man.
Yeah. Well, the last banner the Lakers hung, I believe, was for the in-season tournament when it was still called that. Now the NBA Cup. Let's get into that. We're going Cup crazy here. A little bit different schedule this season. Last year it was basically just every Tuesday, Friday, in November. You got some Cup action with the different colored courts. This year it's all Fridays until the final week of November. So you got Sixers Celtics, that's Friday, October 31st on Halloween night. Then the next week, Celtics Magic, who people expect to be really good. That's in Orlando. By the way, all the bartenders at Epcot are already requesting that weekend off because we're down there for an entire weekend. It's November 7th and 9th at Magic.
Shout out to Abby Chin.
Look out, everybody. We coming, in the words of Deion Sanders. Then a couple weeks after that, Nets and Celtics, and then wrap up the Cup group play. That's a Wednesday, November 26th, against the Detroit Pistons. How stoked are you for the Emirates NBA Cup?
No, I like it. I think the Celtics will play for something like that. I like
Definitely.
that. I mean, I'm a fan. I thought it was gimmicky, and then being a part of it and watching the players want to win by this much and watching all the points and all that, I think it's great.
I mean, Lakers won it, Bucks won it. These are teams that really weren't like in the mix at the end of the season. It's a chance for a team that knows it's not going to be able to contend to win something.
Yeah,
put a banner on.
Remember when Oklahoma City got beat by the Bucks? Everyone wrote off Oklahoma City except for people who know the NBA.
The lights are too bright.
And I'm like, lights are too bright. Like, you're not going to be. I'm like, look at their roster. Yeah. And then they hit me with, they shouldn't have signed Isaiah Hartenstein. They should have signed Klay Thompson. And I'm like, click. You guys, call me back like in July. Let me know what you think of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you were proven right on that one. They're good. Are they like a heavy favorite for you going into the season?
I mean,
you take OKC or the field?
The only problem is they're young and they're well coached, and at this point, everybody's back. If you can ask me about the following year, I'll take the field on the following year. Like 3 in a row or whatever, but this year I think I would take Oklahoma City.
Yeah, they're loaded, and they were so good last year, and there's no reason to think that they'll fall off at all.
Like, those guys are all going to get better. Even SGA could get better. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're really good. But we're talking about the Celtics here, and speaking of the Western Conference, there are a couple big road trips right after Christmas, too, which, again, this is all new. The Celtics not playing on Christmas for the first time in a decade, so the day after, going to Indiana, then Portland, then Utah, then Sacramento, and then L.A. Those are your games right after Christmas. So, for the Celtics, like right after the holiday, is that going to be tough, you think, for them to leave and hit this trip? New Year's Day, Sacramento?
I was just thinking that's going to be tough for Mrs. Scally, but I don't think NBA players look at it like that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember what day it is. I know you play on Christmas Day, you don't, whatever, but once that's over and you're back into it, it is what it is, So I think, I feel like this team will be fine, and I don't think a lot of guys got kids or anything like that. So, it might be a nice little break. And, people are like Peyton Pritchard going back to Portland. There's that, there's always things to look forward to in the schedule.
Well, you get those 2 games against Indiana right there. Where are you on the Pacers this season?
High, well coached,
yeah.
Good team. Obviously not without Halliburton, but no, I'm high on them.
All right, and then after another break later on in the schedule, it's February, coming off the All-Star break. Another long trip starting in San Francisco against the Warriors, and then it's that February 22nd game we told you about against the Lakers. That's on NBC right after the Olympics closing ceremony. You go to Phoenix and then Denver on a back-to-back. So a long time, maybe away from home for these guys. A little vacation for All-Star break, then meeting a team maybe.
Yeah, you think about that. It could be almost 2 weeks on the road. So, yeah, and then you're ending that 2-week stint with a Denver on the back-to-back after Phoenix. So, no, that could be a tough road trip, no doubt about it. I think those teams are good. I'm not sure about Phoenix yet. I don't think they'll be good, but no, that is something when you're managing all that. Okay, some of these guys go to the All-Star game, I think. Some of these guys will go on vacation, come back. So, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that.
Yeah, so those are the long road trips out west. Some other notable opponents. We mentioned the Thunder, how good we think they're going to be coming off of their championship. The Celtics won't see them until March. Both of those games against Oklahoma City are in March. Watch the game on NBC Sports Boston. Late March when the Celtics come here. Mark Daigneault will be back, native of Leominster. I'll be sure to meet up with his high school buddies out at West End Johnny's again for a post-game beverage. Mark Daigneault is a heck of a coach,
Yes,
man.
he is.
He is really good. And he probably doesn't get enough credit because of how good the roster is, but he's one of the best coaches in the league.
It is funny, those coaches who Sam Presti's a big name, and everyone thinks that, like, look what he did with this roster. It's amazing, but you do have to manage that. Just like last year when Joe won the championship, it was obviously the best roster in the NBA, but he had to manage that. And, yeah, I agree. I don't think those guys get enough credit. But Daigneault is phenomenal, and he processes it at a high rate, and he just, like, knows how to – I think he pushes the right buttons. But also, like, so is Rick Carlisle. Daigneault's kind of like boy wonder here, but Rick Carlisle, man, who knows how that game unfolds if Tyrese Haliburton doesn't get hurt in Game 7. But, I mean, I look at Indiana and say, like, the last 2 seasons, I know we ended up sweeping them in the conference finals, but what a run for that team. Small market team that basically did it the right way to rebuild. So I'm excited about watching. Anytime you see a well-coached team and you see a team that, has an identity, Pacers have a fast break identity, I like that.
It's going to be a big year for Nesmith and McConnell, especially, I think, with no Haliburton.
Nembhard, Moby Toppin needs more minutes, like those things.
He's getting them. Then the Cavs, they were the 1 seed in the East last year, flamed out in pretty spectacular fashion, but they'll be back. Roster remains largely unchanged. Ty Jerome out the door, but we got a lot of guys coming back from a team that won 64 games last season. Early on in the year, in October, we got the Cavs at the Garden. When they were in our building last year, that game was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Huge energy there. That was when they were 15-0. It was the NBA Cup. Celtics handed them their first loss. Do you expect the Cavs to have another 60-win season this year?
Yeah, so for me, it's about Mobley. If Mobley one day wakes up and believes that he is what I think he is, then, yeah, they're going to be a problem. But he doesn't carry himself like that. So I don't know. When it comes to these young players, we all want to because they're so good at basketball, we think they're all like mental savages. That takes time to happen. I mean, we talked about Jason Tatum last season, hitting his chest in Miami, right? Like, he became a different guy, won a championship, became a different guy. And it's just natural maturation. But Evan Mobley, kind of a shy guy, and all of a sudden, what if he becomes like a Kevin Garnett type? Then we're in big trouble.
Yeah,
that's a really good team, and they can make some moves. But I look at him as the guy, but I don't think he looks at himself as the guy at this point.
And look, we're high on Keita. That's going to be a test for him.
Oh yeah,
because when he played in that game against Cleveland, they attacked him on the perimeter.
They could pull him away from and that goes back to, like, that's Cleveland doing it, but that's Indiana figuring that out. I remember in overtime, Keita was playing great, and then the game happened, and Carlisle starts moving him away from the basket, and it was bucket, bucket, bucket. Well, now the game is over, so now, like, the good coaches will go out there and be like, this is how we're going to attack this guy. And let's be honest, since that moment, Keita was never the same. Like, he never got consistent minutes after that. They went a different direction. So those are going to be the challenges for, Keita. If you're going to be a switching team, which maybe he shouldn't be a switching big, but if you're going to do that, you got to be able to guard that ball.
If you believe in Keita, his talent, Celtics player development, I think you should believe he's going to have a big season, and we both do.
That's the smartest thing you've said all summer. I guarantee you.
I
know your summer schedule. That is by far the smartest thing you've said all summer.
We haven't talked that much. That's not a very high bar to clear. All right, and let's just get back to Jason Tatum, a guy whose name we've mentioned a couple of times.
I'm not putting
throughout
any
this
dates
pod.
on
No,
him,
I'm not gonna do
that.
I'm not gonna give you a.
Jason Tatum's coming back against his friend Bradley Beal. They went to high school together.
Are those two guys close? I hadn't heard that. No, obviously this is the one thing I'm not going to ask you to bet on or make a prediction on. But
can I just?
Just what you got?
No,
what you got?
The issue is you can't, like, returning. There's a reason the NBA season is what it is. There's a reason we start out in the preseason and the games are like, and then we go to October, November, December, and then there's a game. There's a reason it's 82 games. And if you really just watch a playoff game and watch a preseason game, and there's so many levels in between. Getting thrown back in to a middle of a race where you're trying to get out of the play-in and you're playing these meaningful, high-level games, that is not ideal for not your Achilles, but for your body. There needs to be some buildup. Am I putting limitations on him? Hell no, I'm not doing that. But it's just getting thrown into a fire late without the ramp-up of the season or even a ramp-up of a game or whatever. Like, this guy's never not trained hard. He is a top 5 well-trained athlete in basketball. He doesn't miss lifts. After my radio show on the road, he's in there lifting. Before we get on the bus to go after a game, he's in there lifting. Highly, highly trained. And now he's doing stuff different. You want to just throw him back out there? It sounds dangerous to me. I don't know anything. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I just know this. NBA basketball in October does not look like NBA basketball in April.
Well, he's going to do everything in his power to be ready to smash the timetable everyone's got for him returning from an Achilles. But it sounds like what you're saying is almost like there's actually nothing he can do to get ready for that level of basketball, end of the regular season, into the playoffs, except for playing in it, right?
Yeah, there is something you could do. You could sub in, like, all right, is he going to do this? It's easy to do it if you're me. I sub in at the second quarter and I sub out like 5 minutes later. And those are my minutes. So is Jason Tatum going to start? Is he going to end the game? Is he going to play like those? Like, there's moments where the game is less talented. Is he going to play in those moments? How do you build up? How do you get your legs without doing it, and then without doing it at the highest level? Is he going to play 10 minutes a game for a month? So that's what I'm asking. Like, I don't see, like, star players, they get thrown in there, they're required to do everything. And that's like, I don't know if that demand on your body is too much. I don't know. I just know, like, October and April are not the same. You know, and we think it is because we're there every single day and we see this natural buildup. But if you watch October and then all of a sudden you watch playoff game, you're going to be like, whoa, this is way different, way different.
That's why the Celtics have, when you walk down the aisle of the team playing, you look to your right, trainer. You look to your left, sports scientist, performance guy, nutritionist. Like, that's why the Celtics
100%.
keep these people on payroll. So we can't really answer that question. But what we know about Jason Tatum, what we know about the Celtics is, A, Tatum loves to play and basically has to be talked down from the ledge when he's not going to play.
Yeah.
And B, the Celtics have the infrastructure in place to get him ready and make the right decision, and that might be not playing at the end of the season. That might be it. Even if it bothers Jason Tatum and it disappoints the fans, the right decision might be not playing at all this year. But I do think I just wouldn't close that door. Not right now. I wouldn't go around to your friends at the bar and be like, "Oh, there's no way he's not playing." Like, you're an idiot if you think. I actually think there is a chance he might play.
Yeah,
We just don't know.
I don't know. I just don't know if it's worth the risk. But how about this? I bet you his Achilles is good. I can promise you that if him and Nick are deciding, like, we're going to get this thing right, they're going to get it right.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot that goes into being a star player. Like, you do not confuse a star player who has a usage rate of over 33%, the same thing as, like, he can go out there and give us 5 minutes. Those guys they just don't do that. Anybody else, like, name like a lower level role player. My man Leandro Barbosa, he came back in like 6 months, but when he came back, he was playing like 5 minutes and no one cared. See what I mean by that? Like, that is the challenge. Can you do the proper build up and be okay with it? I don't know.
Well, here's what we do know. Jaylen Brown's going to have a massive opportunity and responsibility during this 25-26 season. I think he's going to go nuts. I think it might be like a first-team All-NBA type season for Jaylen Brown. This is a chance for him to establish himself, even though this is a guy with a Finals MVP already in his trophy case, to take that next step in terms of how people view him in the whole landscape of the NBA. Like, Jaylen Brown has a chance this year to prove he can be the best player on a really good team. I think that's what we're going to see.
Well, so I don't know what we're going to see. What I do know is when you're the guy, that's when you start to get a screen, then you'll get a double team, then you'll get drop coverage, then you'll get they'll rotate a guy as he's coming, and that takes time to do. You can't be a good player, like what you're talking about, all NBA, without being able to manipulate defenses and bend them and move guys. So his challenge is going to be second defender, third defender, Peyton Pritchard in the corner, Derek White in the corner. I got to get those guys involved. It took. Tatum has been handling the ball forever, running this, and the defense started to shift 4 years ago. And I thought last year is when he mastered it, to the fullest, right? So it took time. So Jaylen Brown, he's already, he's already built for this. He's already had success. He's already done so much in the game. But now it's about reading the different coverages that people throw at you, because I have friends that are assistant coaches in the NBA, and those guys spend their lives figuring out how guys make mistakes, how to make a guy make mistakes. Mm-hmm. So he's not just going against the guy you see in front of him. He's going against the help. He's going against the coaches. He's going against assistant coaches. He's going against all the coaches who have all the film study to each other, right? So when Jaylen Brown goes 7 for 21 and 8 turnovers, everyone's going to have that film, and why is he doing that, right? So now you have to be able to address that. So I'm excited about that side of it, and it's not like he's a rookie and this is the first time he's ever done this. He's done it before, but now it's a matter of doing it every night and being able to stay a step ahead of those defenses.
And when you think about player development, don't envision the individual workout videos you see on Instagram. That type of stuff has its own place, right? The work that Tatum does with Drew Hanlon on skills, stuff like that, that's got its place. But I think what the Celtics focus on more is about reading and reacting, right?
Yeah.
That's where Tatum has improved so much, like you talked about, we saw last year. And can Jaylen Brown level up like that entering this season, over the course of this season, to the place where it needs to be as he's the top option? It's not like he's not going to be out there alone. I mean, there are other really good ball handlers on this team.
Yeah, you got to be surprised on how it works. One day, all of a sudden, the passing angles light up, and then the next day they're not there, right? So it's just because you do something one day doesn't mean the next day. And I think last season we thought Tatum was going to hit the Warriors for 50, and they hard blitzed him, and he was shook by that. And then a week later, he was killing the hard blitz. So that's the way it works when you're a star player. You have to be able to see the stuff happening before it does and learn to get off the ball quick and know when to attack. You can't predetermine anything. It's exactly what Drew said. It's all about the reads and making the right reads consistently.
Digesting the information you have at hand, making the best decision, executing that decision, and doing it all like that.
Yeah, in a 16th of a second.
That's I'm going to make the biggest reach of an analogy ever here, but I played a lot of pickleball over the weekend, and that's the key to pickleball, man. Can you digest info? Can you decide what shot you're going to hit? Can you execute the shot? Am I right?
I mean, I know that 80-year-olds play pickleball. I don't know if 80-year-olds are handling double teams in the NBA. So you can use your own analogy, Mr. Pickleball, man.
I said that thing, and Scal was just thinking, man, when can I get with Mike Tirico on NBC?
I'm getting out of here.
You better not big-time me a bunch like you did last season for that Blazers game. I hope not.
Oh, what a game it was. Pritchard goes for 40.
All right, here we go.
Derek White goes for 40. Gotta admit, man, game of the year.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I didn't even have to put my fake glasses on this year. Eventually, I'm going to do this bit, and I'll actually need them. But enjoy the season.
All right, wait, let's do it. Number one game on your list, something you have to see, because there's a lot of free agencies and all that stuff. The number one team you want to see coming in.
I think San Antonio. I want to see how Luke fits in with that. And what I was going to say about him is why it's dumb for anyone to say that was a bad move in free agency or an overpay or whatever, is the Spurs, really the big issue for them is shooting, right, and spacing. Luke Kornet's not a shooter, but he's a spacer. He's going to make your spacing way better.
Yeah, short roll guy.
So I think that he's going to help them immensely. Plus, it's just going to be fun to see what the Celtics put together for his tribute video. So that's probably my number one.
In the Garden, Luka, LeBron, I don't think, and our guys leveling up to what you would consider that. So I want to see the Lakers come into our building. I want to watch that game because it's the first time we've ever seen a team with LeBron James that's not where he's not the best player.
That game's in December. I think Luka might be 150 pounds by then. Jaylen's going to take him right to the block and look like a leaf.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. There's a little revenge game.
Yeah.
Can you see him saying like, I ain't fat now. You can't pressure me now.
I haven't had a burger in 6 months.
There's a lot of juice to that game, no doubt.
There's a lot of juice on a lot of these games, so we can't wait to watch them with you on NBC Sports Boston. Thanks for listening to the Celtics Talk podcast. Forsberg will be back at some point, and he'll be back in this chair, but thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you soon.